Hey everybody, it's Brian from What I Make for Her. Today I'm going to show you how I make roasted chicken and mixed mushrooms with chipotle pan sauce and some zesty collard greens. What I have here is some herbs, rosemary, and a little chipotle and adobo. The first thing I'm going to do is um, heat some oil in a pan, and I'm just going to toss up my rosemary. I want it to cook a little bit and get a little crispy and brown, so I'm just going to cook that really quickly in a hot pan and get that going. So here I have some chicken thighs, and the first thing I'm doing with my chicken thighs is just to pat them down and to dry off some of the excess moisture. Then I'll just season it up with salt and pepper on both sides, and I'm going to put those into a hot skillet. My pan is really smoking hot because I want to sear that skin. I want my skin to be nice and crispy, so I'm just going to put those down, skin side down, and I'll let those go for about 7 or 8 minutes. And in the meantime, I'll move on to my mushrooms, which are also going to roast with the chicken. So here I've got a sheet tray and some diced mushrooms. I'm just going to cover that tray with aluminum foil and give it a quick spray of cooking oil. I'll spread those mushrooms over the tray and go back to my chicken. Here you see my chicken has been cooking for about 7 or 8 minutes. That skin is nicely browned and it's starting to turn crispy. So I'll take those out of the pan, and I'll put those onto the tray and pop that into the oven for about 10 to 15 minutes on 475 degrees. Next, I've got an orange that I'm going to zest, and I'm also going to dice up because this orange is going to go into my collard greens. We're doing a zesty collard green, and it's really kind of a nice, bright, citrusy side dish to go along with this kind of smoky, crispy chicken. So as you see here, I'm just dicing up my navel orange, and it's a really sweet, juicy orange. Goes great with those collard greens. Here's my chicken. It's all done, roasted in the oven. I pulled that out. So here are my collard greens. Just going to toss this into a hot pan, add in my orange zest and my diced orange, and I'm just going to saute that. I want those collard greens to kind of wilt down and some of the moisture from the orange to cook off. Of course, I'm going to season that with salt and pepper because everything needs seasoning. And here we go, just letting those collard greens cook. Back to my little ingredients here. We've got some chipotle and adobo, so I'm going to use that to make a pan sauce with some balsamic vinegar and a little tiny bit of creme fraiche. I'm just going to cook that in a pan and let that sauce thicken up, and that's going to go over top of my chicken thighs. So here we go, let's plate it up. Got some creme fraiche just for a little presentation. Put my chicken thigh down in the center of the plate. Here is my beautiful zesty collard greens with orange and orange zest. I'm going to add my roasted mushrooms, which came out really good. They're really crunchy and kind of like a little crouton. And then I also made a little citrus salad with that crispy rosemary that I cooked off at the beginning. And just to finish it off, here's that awesome chipotle pan sauce. Really adds a nice smoky, spicy flavor. And here we go. This is roasted chicken and mushrooms with adobo pan sauce and collard greens.